Freight is freight until it's not. I've worked in the industry long enough to see where people get tripped up. And one of the biggest mistakes I see is when someone assumes domestic and international freight work the same way. They don't, not even close. Whether you're new to international shipping or just trying to avoid pain that comes with learning the hard way, let's break down what really changes when you start crossing borders and what you need to be doing differently. The paperwork is a whole different beast. Domestic freight has a bill of lading and maybe a delivery receipt. That's it. International freight, we're looking at commercial invoices, custom declarations, packing lists, and more. And every single one has to match exactly. If even one thing is off, your shipment gets held up and the clock starts on extra charges. If you're moving freight overseas, the first thing you need is someone who understands the documents inside and out. That's not optional. It's the price of entry. Timelines don't bend like they do in the US. Miss a pickup window in domestic shipment, and worst case, you reschedule for the next day. But with international loads, if you miss a cutoff for a vessel or delay customs paperwork, it could be a week or longer before anything moves. Freight doesn't wait, and the farther it's going, the less forgiving it gets. You need to build in more lead time and more patience, because once that container is sealed and stacked, it's out of your hands. Regulations are different everywhere, and they change often. The US has its rules, and most carriers know them. But once you cross borders, every country plays by its own rules. Someone requires certain labels, others ban products you didn't know were restricted, and these rules shift. I've seen entire shipments held because someone didn't realize a destination port added a new document requirement last month. This is where experience matters. You can't just Google your way through global compliance. You won't know the players. When I move domestic freight, I usually know the carrier or I know someone who does. There's a level of trust. Internationally, you're dealing with unknown agents, handlers, and third parties. You can't just go with the first carrier offering a low rate. If you don't vet who's touching your freight overseas, you're gambling with your shipment. And I don't say that lightly. You need someone who already has great relationships on the ground. Surprise costs aren't rare. They're expected. Domestic quotes tend to stay close to the final invoice. Not always, but usually, international quotes, they're often just the starting point. Port fees, customs holds, currency shifts, fuel surcharges, and container delays add up fast. The only way to avoid getting blindsided is to work with someone who plans for extras and keeps you looped in the whole way through. If you're used to moving freight across the US, that's great. But international shipping is a different world. More risk, more rules, more places where things can fall apart. But it's not impossible, and it's not something you have to figure out alone. I've helped a lot of people avoid mistakes that would cost them serious time and money. So if you've got a shipment crossing a border or heading overseas, let's talk about what's really involved. Because in international freight, what you don't know will absolutely cost you.